is Shelby. I'm one of the co-founders of Buzzbassador, and I'm going to walk you through how to create your ambassador application form. This is a really important part of the ambassador onboarding process that Buzzbassador uses, and it's the way that people from all over the world really can apply to be a part of your ambassador program. It's a simple form similar to that you would find with Google Forms, Typeform, anything like that you can customize from the back end to put whatever questions you want in the form and collect applicants for your program. So I'm going to walk you through how to customize the form to add whatever questions you want and just really make it your own for your brand. So where the ambassador application form is housed is actually in your ambassador log tab, which is on the left side menu. So you're going to click ambassador log, and then under application actions, click edit an application form. Once you open that, this is the house of your application form. This is where you can edit the questions that show on this form. So I'm going to kind of walk you through each section of this editor. The first section that's important is the application title. This title will be displayed to the people that apply for your program, so you want to make sure that it's professional, appropriate, and also clearly explains what they're applying for. So you can put your brand name, and then you can put just brand ambassador application, or whatever you want to call it. Now, after that, under here, you'll see pre-existing questions, which are these questions right here. What these are basically questions that our team has already created for you and implemented into the application by default. And you can choose whether or not to include these questions in the application. We do recommend including all of these just because the data from these questions will be fueling other parts of the application. For example, if you include the address question, whatever your ambassadors enter for their street address will be used on the location card on your dashboard to show you where your ambassadors are coming from. And the social media links will be used on their profile to link directly to their social media page. So we do recommend including these questions. However, at the end of the day, it's up to you on whether to include them. If you don't want to include them, all you need to do is just deselect the boxes of the questions that you don't want to be in the application form. So once you get done with the pre-existing question section, then you can go ahead and add your own elements. So there are multiple different element options here. You can see there's already 2 questions that I've added into this application form as an example. But just to show you, we have a checkbox group. This is just a way to have actually checkboxes. This also allows your ambassadors to select more than one option if you don't want to do multiple choice, but you want to do like something where they can select more than one choice. You can do the checkbox group. You can do the date field to allow them to enter a date. You can do a header to have a header in the application, so something for your use to explain a certain section of the application. And just like the header of the art, there's also a paragraph section where you can enter text for your ambassadors to read, such as information or instructions for filling out the application. And there's also a number field that only allows the ambassadors to enter a number. Also, there's a radio group, which is the same thing as this down here, just some multiple choice questions where you can only select one. There's also a select field where you can only select one, just a different format for the multiple choice. There's a text field where people can type in a short amount of text, and there's a text area where people can type in a large amount of text, which you can expand to be as long as you want. So that's the summary of all the different options. Each of these are edited pretty much the same way. So just to use the header as an example, to edit the element, just click the edit icon, and then you can type in what you want it to say. So for the header in the paragraph text, where it says label, you'll just type in what you want the text to say. So for example, you could say, "Thank you for applying." There are also different header sizes, header types. I'm just going to keep it with H1 at this point. And when you're done editing, make sure you click close down here. Not this X, this will actually delete the element, but just click the close button to close the editor. So you can see my changes were applied. You can do the same thing for the paragraph. You can say, "We're so excited that you're applying," or whatever you want to say. Close that to close the editor. Now, the questions are a little bit different, but for the most part, you edit them the same way. So let's start with the checkbox group, for example. If you edit that, again, just click the edit icon to open the editor. And with the questions, you can make them required by checking this required box, and that will actually require that question to be filled in order for the application to be submitted. The label field is where you type in the actual name of the question. So let's say you want to ask someone, how did you find out about us? And the help text, so since the checkbox group is a question that you can allow your ambassadors to select more than one option, for the help text, you could type something like, select all that apply. And how this will show up to the ambassadors is with this little question hover. So if they hover over this question mark, your help text will appear, and you can see where it says, select all that apply. Now, the next part is the actual options that your applicants will fill out. So in the left column, that is the text that your ambassadors are going to see when they're filling out the application. The right column is the text that you are going to see when you're looking through their applications on the back end or in your side of the app. So it's probably best just to make these options be the same, just so you know what's being seen versus what's being seen on your end. But however, if you do want to make them different, that's up to you. So let's say for this one, we put social media as the first option. Then to add an option, you just click this add option button. Let's say we say Google, and then TV commercial or something like that. So now that your options are there, you can also select if you want any of these to be selected by default in the application. You can, or you can just make them all unselected so that people have to go in and select which ones they want on their own. So that is how to edit an element on the question side. And again, that editing process works pretty much the same for any of these elements. For the questions, to delete an option, you just click the X and it'll remove that option. You can delete the elements by clicking the X, and you can also duplicate them by clicking the green copy button. So once you're done editing your application, just click save. That will save your changes. And then if you want to preview it, you can totally do that. Just click Application Actions drop down and go to Preview Application Form. And this will show you what your application looks like to the people that are filling out your application. So as you can see, a logo is put here that wasn't in the editor. That's because the application automatically loads the logo that you upload in your brand profile. So make sure that logo is the same image that you want to be shown in your application form. You can see the title of the application, and then you can see all of the fields that you just added, as well as the pre-existing questions. Now, the header will appear after the pre-existing questions, so you want to make sure that you take note of that, and also take note of the difference in the header type with this versus this. You might want to play around with the different header types that are available to try to make it match, or you can just delete that entirely. And then all the question fields that you have are here. And as you can see, this question is required and has that help text. This is how you edit your application form and preview it. If you have any questions, don't forget to send us a chat in your app or check out our help center online for more help articles and resources.